Hello there, and thanks for visiting. Dementia is confusing enough, but when we talk about the different stages, there are many different models that the doctors use. They can use the 7-stage model, the 3-stage model, the GDS model, the FAST model. It goes on and on. So today, let's make a little bit of sense of this, and this will be the first video in a series of 7, and I will discuss the 7 stages, each on its own video. So 7 separate videos for you discussing each stage. I'm Debra. My mission is to change and completely upset the way we care for those with dementia. Over my 15 years of complete immersion into the world of neurodegeneration, I have come to realize that most people are not equipped with the necessary tools to provide even minimal proper care. So, here I am. I am determined to disrupt the dementia care industry across all sectors, and I hope that you will join my cause. Please subscribe and share this channel with as many people as you can. We must do this together. I need your help. This disease will affect 50% of people who are over the age of 85. 50%! Shocking. When a person with dementia begins experiencing symptoms and noticing that something may be wrong, the actual cell death has been occurring in the brain tissue for 20 to 30 years prior to the onset of the symptoms. Because of the over 86 billion neurons in the brain, it takes 20 to 30 years of brain cell and tissue death to actually start compromising our day-to-day activities of daily living. Before I get into talking about stage 1 of the 7 stages of dementia, I want to talk first a little bit about AAMI, or age-associated memory impairment. This is considered normal aging and is absolutely nothing to worry about. And again, that's called AAMI, or age-associated memory impairment. And this is memory changes that affects everyone as we age. AAMI can turn into MCI, or mild cognitive impairment, and can sort of be considered the middle ground between age-associated memory impairment and other more serious conditions like Alzheimer's or other dementias. So not everyone who has MCI or mild cognitive impairment will go on to develop another type of dementia, such as Alzheimer's. In fact, only 10 to 15% of those diagnosed with mild cognitive impairment, or MCI, will go on to develop another disease such as Alzheimer's. So please don't worry and don't panic if you are diagnosed with MCI. So just to give you a little bit more clarity, age-associated memory impairment is not going to disrupt your daily living. It's just a minor nuisance. You might forget where you put your glasses, or forget somebody's name, or call somebody by the wrong name occasionally. And as far as MCI, this might be a little bit more noticeable and a little bit more of a nuisance. But again, it doesn't mean you're going to need any help. You'll still remain very independent. And you'll be able to function on a day-to-day basis. You may have a little bit more trouble with some certain tasks or concentration at work, but you would still be able to maintain your independence and your lifestyle as it is. The 7-stage model, or GDS, Global Deterioration Scale, is the most common scale used by physicians. And if you have a loved one who has been diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease, you will want to ask the doctor which diagnosing stage model that they are using. Are they using a 7-stage model, a 3-stage model? It would be important for you to know that. The Global Deterioration Scale is a tool that doctors use to estimate the life expectancy, and it helps to determine where life functions may be diminishing. The GDS model provides an overview of the cognitive decline and where the patient falls in the progression of brain deterioration. It is very, very important that you do not look at these stages as definitive steps. People who are in these stages will fluctuate between the stages. They can have symptoms from multiple stages at once, but not so much for the later stages. This would be more for the beginning, middle, moderate stages that can be very fluid. But once we move into the later stages, it's more definitive. So please keep that in mind as you watch each of the 7 videos and learn about each stage. Just remember that your patient or your person with dementia can and will more than likely have multiple symptoms from multiple stages at any given time. I hope that's clear. Please type clear in the comments. Oh, I almost forgot. I have a free gift for you. I have a free download. Please go to answersabout.alz.org and you can get this free download about the different types of dementia, the lifespan expectancies, the symptoms and causes. Because even if your loved one has been diagnosed with one type of dementia, chances are very high that they will end up with either a mixed dementia diagnosis down the road, or the diagnosis may change to a different type of dementia. And this resource can help you to monitor those symptoms. So go to answersabout.alz.org and download Understanding Different Types of Dementia. So just as an overview, as we're talking about the 7 stages of dementia, stages 1 through 3 are considered pre-dementia, and people are still independent. This is where a diagnosis of MCI, or mild cognitive impairment, would fall somewhere between stages 2 and 3. This pre-dementia time frame typically lasts between 2 to 4 years. The next stages would be stages 4 through 7. These are considered the dementia stages. And this is when a person will require some or a lot of care. So again, today is going to be the first video in a series covering each stage of Alzheimer's disease. I want to be very clear here because sometimes people, including trainers, may not be fine-tuning this. These stages are for Alzheimer's disease specifically. Alzheimer's takes a predictable path through the brain, and therefore we are able to determine and detect stages, but other dementias do not, like vascular, frontotemporal, Parkinson's, and so on. Many diseases have dementia as a symptom, but Alzheimer's is pretty unique to having stages. I hope that made sense. Please type "that made sense" in the chat for me. Dementia symptoms, when they begin to appear, will not just be problems with memory. This is a big misconception. It's much, much more than that. In addition to cognitive problems, the person will have trouble with judgment and self-care. They will have some changes in their personality. They more than likely will begin to have some behavioral changes and might suffer from sundowning. I have a terrific video on sundowning. If your person with dementia suffers from sundowning syndrome, make sure you get some knowledge and tips. This is when caregiving can get unmanageable and often is when families give up. The important thing to remember is that this stage won't last forever, and we'll cover more about that in one of the upcoming segments. So we've talked about AAMI and MCI, but as far as stage 1, we wouldn't have even noticed any changes yet. The brain cell deterioration hasn't been significant enough yet for us to notice a change. So in stage 1, there is no impairment noticeable. Notice that I used the word noticeable because there is brain cell death occurring, and there has been for decades. So stage 1 is just sneaking, lurking, waiting to rear its ugly head to us. We don't have any symptoms yet. This stage 1 is even before a diagnosis of MCI. Our person with stage 1 is still highly and normally functioning with no assistance needed. So there you have it. Stage 1 is basically skipped because we won't even know that we have Alzheimer's yet while in the first stage. Don't forget to head over to the website for your free download to your email about different dementia diagnoses, symptoms, and lifespans. I have a whole slew of gifts for you on that site. And for those of you who want more of these videos, I have plenty of them, and I also have some compact courses and my certification course on that website, so you can sneak a peek at that if you're interested. That site again is answersaboutalz.org. Please subscribe. Love you guys. I'll see you next time.